This
But,
desk is developing some character, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This desk is developing some character.
That's what happens with default budgets.
Right. No, Larry used to sit
We're
there all
live.
the time. He
Okay.
kept crying on it.
Morning, sir.
All right, 2 minutes, then we'll start the meeting. That clock is fast, you know that?
Yeah, I've always felt it was that. That's why they had it 70 year old.
But I got 1 minute and 6 on my watch, and the clock says.
I got 6:01.
I guess
Do you?
it's,
All right, well, we'll start the meeting then. My watch might be slow. All right, if everybody's ready, please stand for the. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Could we please have a roll call? Start with Mr. Brown.
Larry Brown.
Philippine.
Steve Baker.
Stan Nato.
Mike
Okay, as we can see, we have 5 present, so that makes it a legit meeting. As public comment, there is no public, so we'll close that. Unfortunately, we have a resignation letter. I'd like to read it. It's short and simple. This was dated. It wasn't dated, but it is an end date on it. So, from Mr. Skillings, and it was sent to Mr. Peel, Land Use Clerk, Town of Milton. Dear Julius Peel, Land Use Clerk, please accept this official notice of my resignation. I have enjoyed being on the zoning board. For personal reasons and work-related reasons, I can no longer get Thursday nights off. My work is sporadic and I have to be available when needed to complete assignments. My last day at the Town of Milton, New Hampshire will be 3/25/21. Sincerely, Mr. Skillings, Sean Skillings. I need a motion to accept his, by Mr. Brown, a second.
To accept with regret and thanks.
That was gonna be after we, but anyway, a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. If anyone would like to have any comments put into the minutes for Mr. Skillings, now would be the time. Mr. Brown already started.
The Coast Guard was the first armed forces in 1792. He served as a good example of that
Anyone else?
in civic life.
I would just like to thank Mr. Skillings for his time on the board. It was deeply appreciated. Now that he's vacated, he also vacated the vice chair position. So I need a nomination, a motion to nominate someone as the vice chair. Anyone interested in the position before we just throw out some names? You're interested? Anyone else?
Been there, done that, bring on the new blood.
Okay, so we have, you want to make a motion
I will,
for Mr. Bulio to be vice chair?
I will move, so move.
Second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of the minutes for March 25th. Can I assume everyone's read them?
Yes.
I have one.
Okay, all right, with that said, some boards make a motion and then they go do, I prefer to do any changes than make a motion to accept with the changes. So what do you have for changes?
Under the, it should be page 2, it's, I mentioned to Julius, he's probably able to help us change that. Under the applicant, it should say Tammy and Bob Smith.
What was on the application itself?
I believe it said Harry, but that might have been a typo on me, but nobody had mentioned that, so,
There was both names on the application itself?
yes.
Okay, then they should be in the minutes for both. But just put that, you have that she was the only one present though, as representing
Yes.
the applicant. Okay,
Yeah, so
all
we
right.
could just remove that entirely.
Yeah. Mr. Brown?
That, I did not express a concern. It was rather.
What page, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, on page 3. I noted that.
Okay, let's find that. We're on, like a third of the way down, line 78. Larry Brown expressed concern that the homeowners might want to consider a civil suit against the septic designer. And you said you did not express a concern. You noted you noted,
For their information.
okay,
I noted.
okay. Anything else? I'm sorry?
Would you have a place to, I asked the board to consider striking that whole line 78 out?
Well, that's up to Mr. Brown. He stated it. If he wants to retract it, that's totally up to him.
You're wearing a great mask. I did not hear you.
Oh,
He was expressing concern that maybe the board should strike that whole line out, that it says, everything that you have in here, it says Larry Brown expressed concern that the homeowners might want to consider a civil suit against the septic designer. He's saying, would you wish to just strike the whole thing out completely?
To what end?
completely.
No, to what purpose?
I think it's, that statement is beyond the board's, what's the word I'm looking for?
Purview.
Okay, but with that said, it is a true attest, other than the fact that it's not exactly what he meant by, but it was said to that, you know, maybe not word for word, but it was, that thought was said. In, you know, so it is a true attest, so it is, should be in the minutes, in my book.
It is also a commentary on the concerns raised by the homeowners, that they had not been fairly, had not gotten full professional service from their surveyor. And on that basis,
Could you make sure they go to the minutes, Julius? That
Yep.
I requested that to be stricken, and that's fine, the board will do what they will do.
Well, I personally feel if I said something and I want it in the minutes, it should be in the minutes. It would be up to me to retract it. You know, not the board. It would be up to me individually, because I made a
It was
statement.
just a request, that's.
Yeah. I have one thing, Julius, that I'd like to see changed.
Can I get the motion one more time from Larry?
There's no
Or
motion.
not the motion, but
There is just the way that it's written is not what he expressed that night.
yeah, so where does it change?
So Larry didn't express concern. He noted,
Noted concerns?
no, he noted the fact.
there is an observation.
Right. Okay. My concern is with the minutes is I'd like to see not just first names. I'd like to see, in my case, S. Nato, Al Brown, because it could get confusing, not so much maybe with the first name Stan, but John's or Paul's. You know what I mean? I would like to get more, I don't lack a better word, professional with it, and have, you know, once you say who's in attendance, then you can go with the first initial and the last name. Everyone agree with me on that?
That makes sense.
Okay, anything else, anyone else with the minutes? Okay, so I have a motion to accept them with the changes. Mr. Brown,
So moved.
second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I just want to backtrack 1 minute. I mean, we did discuss Mr. Skillings, and I know you had this thing, Julius, that you wrote up. I don't know, did you publish this about if anyone had any interest in coming?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to, Mr. Bean, are you interested in taking the position full-time?
I am, and if I may, Mr. Chairman, I brought up just
Okay.
a brief insult of my humble accomplishments in life for your review. And if you're looking for a warm body, I'm happy to serve. Thank you.
Yeah, I see what he's laughing at.
I know you strike your business card as special pleading.
Simply for communication purposes.
There will be no second to that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so obviously, if we felt you were good enough to be a alternate, you know, in my mind, you'd be good enough to be sitting on the board full-time. And the only question here is, does this board feel that we should just accept this request on his behalf and work on it tonight, you know, make a decision on it, or do you feel we should give the general public more time?
Well, I'd be happy to bring them in tonight, that's my opinion.
Okay, just want to make sure that we address all the
Yep.
avenues here.
For the record, the ZBA of its own authority and its own timetable and its own standards may provide for the alternate and for the appointment of an interim member to the next election.
Correct.
So
But some people believe that, oh, I didn't see that, wouldn't have known, I would have been interested, you're probably gonna hear that from somebody, so I wanted to make sure that, not that they would be sitting here, I'm just saying, but anyway, yes,
If Michelle is still here and or has the time, she can swear them
Yeah.
in.
I agree. I don't know if she's still here.
But you can.
But
you
he's
can
still,
make an
he's still
appointment.
he's sitting in tonight as an alternate, cause he's still sworn in as an alternate, which, we should put that in the minutes too, I'm sorry. That Mr. Bean sat in as an alternate to have a full board.
Well, the only argument I might raise is that we didn't have a lot of notice prior to this meeting because of the resignation and all, so I'm wondering if somebody might claim, hell, I didn't even know there was an opening.
Well, that's what I just said, so, whatever the board wants to do, I'm more than happy to let Mr. Bean, I shouldn't say let, because it's not just up to me, put a motion in to Mr. Bean sit on this board, and I'm more than happy to say, okay, next meeting we do it, and if there's no, whatever the board wants to do, Mr. Brown.
If the chair is open to mild sardonic humor, one, it's always a pleasure to have a live one in front of you.
Oh.
And two, why don't we ask the great public in attendance?
I know. And one in the hand is better than two in the bush. I understand what you're saying. But I also want to bring all these things up so that no one, like you said, that,
Right. Well, what if we got another applicant in the next month? We could always add another member to the,
no, we can't, we can have an alternate.
all right, an alternate.
5 is the limit for the board.
All right, so be it. I think we should take through
And
the night and.
That hapless person would be the a member in training.
Well, that was going to be my next statement. I think there should be some weight given to anyone that sat as an alternate, that when a position opens up, that they're heavily considered, because they did do their time as an alternate.
Now
So
we have an opening for an alternate.
we have opening for 2 alternates, if not more.
So he put it in the right perspective. He said a warm body, and those are hard to come by.
Yeah. I'll make the motion that the board assigns the seat to Mr. Bean until the next election in 2022.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Well, I want to say welcome aboard, but you may say it's not so welcome.
Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
In the meantime, can we get some more notices out, Julius, that we desperately need alternates?
Yeah, there's a bunch of other committees that are also on the same problem of needing members, so we're gonna do a mass notice of that, so
Okay.
when that happens.
All right, thank you. Sorry to have to backtrack, I kind of missed that. All right, looking over the schedule, did we discuss this at the last meeting? These are the dates that we kind of agreed on. Obviously, they can be changed for whatever reasoning at the time, but this is what Julius needs to have in his possession as gospel. Does anyone see any conflicting dates here? I know it's hard to say that far out, but obviously we're not gonna have any meetings unless we have a applicant too.
All right. It's fine to me.
Okay. I'm assuming Mr. Brown had no problem with it, he vacated the little boys' room, I guess. Okay, so I'll make the motion that we, proceed forward with the dates and times that we have listed on this schedule for 2021. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
And Mr. Brown is, abstaining, I guess. All right. The letter to the code enforcement, has everyone had an opportunity to read it?
I'm not sure.
It looks like this. It's a single page.
It's not this
This is what we discussed because of the last meeting, the house in the wrong spot.
one. New construction survey, it says on
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
You're looking for discussion on it?
Yeah, as soon as everybody, Mr. Brown, do you have an opportunity to read the letter that we were looking to send to the building inspector plus the Board of Selectmen?
I did look at it. What point would you like me to make on it?
Well, now we're to comments. Anyone have any comments on it? I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to read it first. So. Go ahead.
Sure, on brand new construction where the first process is surveying, as long, I mean, you wouldn't wanna create a burden on anyone, would have to now come up with a fee to pay a surveyor to make that right. To make that, put that in place, but again, if it's brand new construction, you got lots going up, they're surveyed anyway.
My logic of having something like this, pinning the foundation, as I called it, it's gonna prevent any costly,
Oh, yeah.
extra costs for the landowner or the, whoever buys the house or whoever's doing the house. I think if Mr. Woodruff was correct, didn't he say it was like $250 to have something like this done?
Yes, he said it could cost somewhere between $250 to $300.
All right, so even $300, that is peanuts compared to what the cost of the house is, and it's extreme peanuts considering compared to what it'd be if we had to move the house. So I think that's something that, we haven't got the authority to tell the town to do it, but I think that's something that we should support strongly. And I honestly believe it's in the other towns are doing this already. We're not the first ones to think of this. They're already doing it. So that's my logic on it. Anyone else?
Yeah, very. One change. I think the last sentence, if I remember, I'll find it again.
Yeah, it's a single sheet in your folder.
Yes. The chances of an accidentally built structure within the setbacks. You want the structure within the setbacks. You don't want an accident of.
Built outside of the Yeah, we're missing a word in there.
Yeah.
Good catch, Larry. Mr. Brown.
Good catch.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else? That's it? Anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion. The only thing I'd like to change on this though is have a line for myself to sign it. I can just sign, you're gonna have to do it up and put that in there anyway. I'll make a motion to accept this letter and the motion's also gonna include me to sign it and Julius to send it to the proper people. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Oh, hang on.
So, you think it might be a good idea to have, has Brian commented on this?
No, but Bruce has, as the town planner.
Yeah. All right,
Again, we don't have the authority to make them do it.
no, I know, but, it'd be nice to have the code enforcement, his opinion on,
Well, I think at that point, if he has a good reason not to do it, he won't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is all we can do.
Yeah.
We have no more power than this piece of paper, that's it.
I agree, just another tool for us to work with.
Right, and I hate to have to tell someone, and I really don't want to tell someone, you're gonna move your house.
Yeah.
I've done it.
I don't want them.
Having, if I follow the point, having Brian sit in for a decision on what he is going to be asked to do based on the letter that he hasn't gotten
Yeah.
yet.
I think what he was saying, on the thought of the idea.
Process.
Yeah, so, all right, so we have a motion with a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? One opposed? Okay. So it passes. Just, like I said, I'd just like to have it dated and, place for me to sign.
Mike, what was your opposition to?
Well, the added cost, number one, and there is a waiver for a homeowner anyway in the permit system
Yep.
for something like this. Beyond that, again, having Brian's input, he could probably enlighten, I know town planning was a very smart guy, but, Brian is the one that faces this
Yeah.
firsthand, and I'd like to see his opinion on this.
Well, his opinion will be stated whether or not he does it or don't do it, him and the Board of Selectmen. I mean, it's out of our hands now. It's just something, a recommendation on our behalf, and that's as far as we can go. Mr. Brown.
My apology, you talked faster than I walked. If you have the appointment form of his and bring it up on the computer, Michelle will be here and with your signature for the appointment filled in this morning.
For him to be appointed?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be done here in probably 10 minutes. We have hardly anything left here.
So,
Okay?
I think the
I can
form
probably find an
is
appointment
on
sheet.
your,
Okay, other business? Anyone else have anything else? Any concerns? Just ideas? Anything? No? Okay. Planners' comments? Well, he's not here. So here we are at the last and final thing. Adjournment. Who would like to make the motion? Mr. Brown, second? Mr. Bean, all in favor? Aye. At, well, 6:21.
and
So 20-minute meeting.
again,
Wow.
a masterful looking into that.
And as I said, without, unless something dramatic happens, we won't be having a meeting unless there's a applicant. Thank you for showing up, because I really wanted to get this taken care of tonight,
Thank you.
and welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's a privilege.
Julius, do we have any extra books like this?
Yes, we do.
He's gonna get you the new book.
Okay,
Alright.
perfect.
John will make that.
Maybe if you see Mr. Skillings, he can give his back. He's probably still wrapped brand new.
Probably.
Mr. Skillings, if you're watching, please return your book.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Thank you. Oh, if anybody can't make a meeting, please let Julius or myself know. Okay. Alright.
Snowing like hell today, or?
Oh, yeah, it was. It poured like hell last night, didn't it? We're still,
Yes,
we're
it
still
did.
on, we're still on camera, so,
Okay. All right. I won't swear.
yeah. That wouldn't be good. There's nobody to push the button, and go beep. I wish I knew how to shut it off. I don't know how.
It's a little late for snow.
Got my dock in, but I still got my boat yesterday. I gotta get that already.
I got my dogs ready to go in. I had my feet in the water this week though, that wasn't fun.
I put my dock in a week ago Saturday. It wasn't bad at all. Usually I wear a wetsuit. This year I didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, I got two sections I gotta wait till, and I got a new ramp to go down to the dock. I gotta do some measuring.
Are you off of on the northeast side?
No, I'm on the Micah Terrace.
Oh, yeah, Micah
so
Terrace.
I'm on the river. First
Yeah.
10 houses, first 7 houses of Micah Terrace.
Yeah, I'm down in that shortcut by the beach. Not a
Yeah,
shortcut,
I
but
know,
that
I see
passageway.
a trailer parked out near the road, right?
Yeah, yeah. My boat trailer or my skidoo trailer? My snowboat trailer.
Skidoo.
The snowboat, the big one? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's put away.
Yep.
So next year, hopefully it'll be better than this year.
You didn't get a lot in?
I couldn't go to Canada.
Oh.
The country wouldn't let us in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we rode mostly Vermont, which wasn't too bad, but only got like 1,200 miles, 1,100 miles in.
Yeah.
That's not probably the most costly sport I know of.
Yeah, I got my motorcycle ready to go. June ride.
Last time I bought a motorcycle, every one of them they just sat in the garage. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey,
All right.
Julius, can you shut this down?
Good call. Otherwise, we'd be recording all night.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be looking at much.
Say it wouldn't be a show.
Well, you don't know.